Who is the GOAT in tennis? Guys, who is the GOAT in tennis? Djokovic, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Do you agree with me? Do you know what GOAT means? GOAT means the greatest of all time. Okay? So this is an acronym, although these days, when kids are texting each other, they don't write these, dots. They don't put these periods in between here, right? And they don't use capital letters. They just write it like a word, like the animal, a goat. So you don't have to write it like this in capital letters. You can, the context will make it clear if you're talking about an animal or if you're talking about the greatest of all time. So we use this. This is a kind of a new word that people use to talk about the best in sports or the best in anything. Who is the best soccer player? You could say it like this. Who is the GOAT in soccer? Okay, who is the greatest of all time when it comes to soccer? In the history of the sport. You could say Messi, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay? Or you could, put whoever you think is the best. And then you can say this, beyond a shadow of a doubt. What does this mean? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Well, I'm going to teach you in this lesson. Now, you can either say beyond or you can say without. Okay? Without a shadow of a doubt, Messi is the best. Okay? Without a shadow of a doubt, Djokovic is the GOAT in tennis. So what does it mean? It means very sure. Absolutely, like we're talking about absolute certainty. You believe it 100%. Okay, so this is like another way to say very sure. Okay, because in life, sometimes we are very sure about something, right? So I want to teach you an idiom instead of this. You could say I'm very sure Djokovic is the best. But it's better to use idioms if you can in English. So a lot of my videos on my channel are about idioms. So let's look at some examples of this idiom, that maybe you could use in real life. Okay, look at this. The evidence proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was guilty. Okay, so let's say there's a guy, he committed a crime. The evidence could be conclusive or inconclusive, right? If there's some evidence, but there's not much, the evidence might be inconclusive. But if the evidence is sure, you could say the evidence proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. Completely sure, right? Beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was guilty. Okay, look at this example. It is clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that air pollution causes respiratory diseases. I just made up that sentence, guys. I don't know. Respiratory means you're breathing. That's your respiratory system. Guys, are we recording? Yes, we are. Thank you for joining me in another English episode today. So, you might say this. It's clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that air pollution causes respiratory illnesses, to do with your lungs or your windpipe. This thing is called your windpipe. That pipe that the air goes down. You call it your air pipe. Can we call it an air pipe? I don't know. It's called the windpipe. Just imagine the wind blowing, and the wind goes down down there. Windpipe. Okay. Because when you breathe, you create wind, right? You're creating wind. Can you feel the wind from my breath in your country? Probably can't feel the wind, can you? So here's another example. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to leave a comment below this video. And hopefully you guys smash that like button if you learned something new. Yeah, guys, thank you very much for your nice comments that you leave on my videos. So I could say this. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're going to leave a comment. Okay, that just means I'm very sure. I'm absolutely certain of it. Look at this. She knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was going to ask her to marry him. Okay? She knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. That means she was sure, totally sure, that he was going to ask her to marry him. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Now, all of these idioms, right? This idiom is inside a sentence. Like, look at this sentence, right? She knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? All these examples we've just looked at are full sentences using this idiom. But you can also use this idiom as an answer, and it's kind of like its own sentence. Okay? So this is the full sentence. You could use it that way. Like, look at this. This girlfriend, the girlfriend asks her boyfriend, is that the guy from Star Wars? And he says, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, let's say they're shopping and they see someone, an actor from the Star Wars movies. She might say, is that the guy from Star Wars? He says, without a shadow of a doubt, right? Or beyond a shadow of a doubt. Remember, it can be without or beyond. Both mean the same thing. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so it could be, you know, like anytime anyone asks you, are you sure? If you are sure, you could say, I'm sure. But if you want to be a little bit more interesting in your English speaking, you could say, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah? Are you sure? Yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so you can kind of use this as its own sentence as well if you want. Now, guys, what are the literal meanings of these words? Like, what is this? What does beyond mean, or shadow, or doubt? Well, you know, guys, with idioms, don't spend too much time trying to figure out why idioms have certain words in them. Like, don't spend too much time on that, because even native English speakers don't know. I mean, let's look at some of these words. Okay, beyond. What does beyond mean? Beyond means past. Past. Okay, so look at this sentence. Heaven is somewhere beyond the blue. Heaven is somewhere beyond the blue. Blue in this sentence means sky. Okay, did you know that? Sometimes in songs or poems, you know, they don't use the word sky, they use the word blue. So, you know, yeah. So, like, I mean, the sky is blue, right? So, blue is a color, but sometimes the sky is called the blue. It's a noun, okay? I mean, most colors are adjectives, right? Like, look at that blue car. Well, then blue is an adjective. Here, the blue means the sky. So heaven, I mean, if you want to get to heaven, you know, heaven is somewhere beyond the blue. Beyond means past. Heaven's not here, it's past the blue. So if you're this guy, you're climbing up to heaven, right? Got to have a really long ladder. This is called a ladder. You got to climbing up past the blue. Heaven's not in the blue, it's past the blue. It's beyond the blue. Look at this example. I'm beyond frustrated. What does that mean? I'm beyond frustrated right now. That means you are very frustrated, okay? I mean, this is normal frustrated here. Now you're like past this point. You are beyond frustrated. That means you're, like imagine you're on some. Have you ever called a company and you just have to wait on hold? You just have to sit there waiting on hold for like an hour, and then maybe suddenly the call. Your frustration is building. You're sitting there waiting for an hour, you're pretty frustrated, but then suddenly the call just drops and you were just waiting for nothing. Has that ever happened to you? That's happened to me a lot, guys. I'll be waiting for a long time and suddenly the call gets cut off for some reason. And it's like, okay, now I'm beyond frustrated. Yeah, right? So, yeah, you can use that with any emotion. You could say, I'm beyond excited. Maybe you're really excited for your wedding, or you're excited for graduation. You could say, I am beyond excited. You're very excited, right? So that's what beyond means. Now, what about shadow? Well, this is a shadow, right? This woman's shadow. So like if we think about beyond a shadow of a doubt, like the word doubt means you're not totally, you're not sure, right? It's, I doubt that. Like imagine if the government said, this year we are going to lower taxes. We're going to lower everybody's taxes. You could say, I doubt that. I doubt that. Okay, that means you don't believe them very much. So why are these words in this idiom beyond a shadow of a doubt? Guys, like I said, don't waste time trying to figure out why idioms are the way they are. I don't even know, guys. Native English speakers don't spend their time trying to figure it out. Sometimes it might be obvious. Sometimes you don't really know. What does that even mean? What's a shadow of a doubt? I don't know. I don't know why the English language is the way it is sometimes. That's just how it is. Now, guys, with idioms, remember, most of the time with idioms, you have to say each word the way it is written in the idiom. You can't change words. So, for example, we cannot say beyond the shadow of the doubt. Okay? You can't change the word for the. It has to be beyond. Now, with this word, like I said, you could change it to without. So sometimes in idioms, there are some different options. So you could use the word without a shadow of a doubt or beyond a shadow of a doubt. But you can't say this word. You can't change this. You can't change this. You can't change this. It's like an idiom is kind of like a fixed phrase. And you have to say it exactly that way. Okay? So that's it, guys. Like I said, don't worry too much about why the idiom uses these particular words. Let's just do some homework, guys. I want you to tell me about something you're sure about. What are you sure about? And use the idiom beyond or without a shadow of a doubt. Right? So, guys, I look forward to reading your homework right down there in the comments. Well, I hope you learned something new. As always, guys, I love you very much. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy wherever you are. And I'm sure You can be sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that I love you. There's my example. Right? There's my sample sentence. You can be sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that I love you. Right? So anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.